Good boy. Good boy. Okay.
He's the real star of the show, but I want to talk to you guys about the Christmas light overview. Okay? In here, we kind of did this for a training process, just to kind of give everybody an opportunity to see all the different things that they're going to get asked, all the different kind of, we just want to basically make this so that everybody get a refresher, because as you know, the holiday lighting jobs only come around once a year. So, first thing that's going to happen is a lot of people are going to ask us, why are we, as a roofing company, why are we offering this service? It's a very important factor to consider. In fact, it's the most important part of the holiday light process, is you're doing this for safety, because who wants a Clark Griswold moment with their husband falling off a ladder, hanging off the gutters? The reason you're hiring someone to install your Christmas lights is to be safe, right? It's to do a good job, of course, but safety first. If you don't do the job safely, somebody falls off, if the bucket truck guy goes and hits your gutters, you want to make sure they have the liability insurance and the WCB. You want to make sure they're allowed to be working on roofs and they have experience working on roofs, especially once the snow starts to fall, because every part of the house cannot necessarily be reached by a bucket truck or a boom. Sometimes you have to get on the roof. And we have all kinds of special ladders and equipment designed to allow us to work on roofs safely, and we have the experience. We're not landscapers and screen door guys, we're roofers. We actually have experience working at height, working on sloped roofs, so that we can keep you guys in a position where you're not going to have a liability or a lawsuit coming as a Christmas present under the tree. So once we got that, we kind of got that out of the way, we're going to find out how many homes we've done. So far we've had 149 opportunities to do holiday lights for people in Edmonton. So for us, this is a proof that we've been doing this a while and we know what we're doing. Big part of it's going to come down to our lights, but everything here is that there's also, every house has a unique set of challenges. So some of the equipment that we bring, you're going to see a goat, or it's basically a hook ladder, and it's a long pole with a ladder that has a hook that looks like a shepherd's stick, hangs over the roof. We can use that to climb gables and edges. We have a tow behind boom truck, basically it's a boom that extends out about 36 feet. That allows us to reach most of the places in the houses. After that, we have ladders with standoffs and ladders with guards that are going to protect your gutters. So this way, no matter where we are, no matter what we're doing, we're going to be protecting your roof and your home, right? As far as how much holiday lighting can cost, it really depends on a couple of factors, right? The first thing is exposure. Do you want the front of the house covered? Do you want the front and like a primary side, say on a corner lot? Do you want the front and back? Say if your front of the house is, sandwiched between other houses, but you also have exposure to a lake or a path in the back? Or do you want the whole house and just go like right crazy and get everything?
Do you have a hot tub in the back?
Yeah, if you have a hot tub in the back, you might want to get some lights on your deck, stuff like that. So once you know where you want it covered as far as exposure, then you have to decide roof lines. Do you just want the horizontal lines like the gutters? Do you want the triangles or the gable edges? Do you want those covered as well? And again, do you want to go crazy and have things around pillars and around lights and around trees? We do all of this stuff. So really, what's going to be important is to get a design consultation, right? What we're going to do is actually come out to your property. We're going to use something like this to measure your property out, to get an idea as to all the areas that you want, measure the wraps around the trees. We're going to take a photo tool that's designed to actually give you an idea as to how many wraps are going to be on the tree, so you can get an idea as to what kind of lighting you're looking for in your trees. There's, an option of just having a string light go around the canopy, and that's going to be very, very bare. You'll notice it when you're close, but it's not really going to get much attention. Then you can do a very dense light wrap around your canopy, right, with a bigger bulb, right? And then you can get, kind of like a luxurious tree, I think they call it the Rockefeller effect. But our design consultant will have all the names for you. But essentially, that's where you have big lights and little lights, and then it shines like something you're going to see out of a movie, right? From there, you also have your structure wraps. So you see trees like this, where it's just like bare and there's no leaves and there's no branches. Well, that's where we would wrap around the trunk, and then we'd go up some primary branches and provide you some lighting. And all this is stuff that you're going to discuss with your design consultant. This is why we come out to see you, okay? Now, over here we have a whole bunch of common questions that people are going to ask, right? A lot of it revolves around the lights. Now, one of the biggest things that's special about our lighting is that these are a true C9 bulb with an E17 tip. Everybody thinks that this is what makes your light the C9 and makes you happy, but it's this that's actually giving you your light. Inside of this casing right here, what you're going to see is that there's actually 5 LEDs in there, 0.45 watts per bulb. If you look at the stuff you're going to get from like Crappy Tire it's not going to have that much light in it. There's going to be one LED. Essentially what you're getting is this. Notice the wire, how it looks familiar? This is what you're getting when you get stuff from your normal light supplier, like at a general store or hardware store. It's just one LED, then it has this built on top of it, and so you think you're getting a C9 bulb like what your parents used to have, but this is what you're actually getting. It's just these LEDs. That's why the wire's all coiled up like this.
So are those bad?
These aren't bad. They're just not meant for lighting up a house.
And they shouldn't be sold as C9s.
They should not be sold as C9s. It's a great big scam. So a true C9 bulb should have an E17 tip and screw in just like so. And one of the big important factors to making that successful is this little drain hole right here. That's what allows, so if there is any moisture, humidity that builds up in there, it's going to drain back out. So if this is maybe going around a tree and it's up like this, if anything does happen to go in there, first of all, there is a rubber seal in there, right? But if you can avoid it and the moisture does get in there, knowing that it can drain out is a big thing to preventing corrosion and humidity. Now, the other benefit is the wire itself. Notice the wire is flat and not twisted like that other one. That's what allows us to set up your lights so they're nice and straight. So you're actually going to get a nice clean lighting layout just like this. So the lights will all point the same way. The way we accomplish that is with one of two clips. If you happen to have steel gutters, steel fascia, maybe a commercial building or something like that, this is how it's going to go on. These are actually have rare earth magnets in them. This actually just twists on to the light casing, and that's got your magnets in it. And so then we take that, mount it on like this, or the other option is where we can connect it to your lights like this. It would hold the light down like this or up like this. That's the benefit of having the flat wire, is we're not sitting there fighting with it and it's not tangling up. Now, the other kind of clip that we use is down here. Okay, and this is called a multi-clip. And so you can do a number of things with this, right? You can mount this down.
Hold it still for a second.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can mount this down against a shingle, right? So the shingle tab would slip in here, and it's going to hold the light like that, and it's not going to allow it to fall. These are very strong. They don't break very easily. Then you can also mount it in here like this, and it will go into your gutter. So we'll pry it open, and it's going to clip on your gutter like this. These things are super tough. And then when you put the light on and you put that against the bulb like that, every single light gets a clip with us. That's a big, big thing that you got to ask your lighting providers. Does every single light get a clip? Also, what is the difference in the distance between the lights? 12-inch spacing is standard. You can get 18-inch. We don't really like to do that. It's just too far to have a light all the way out here. You can also get 6-inch. But again, with our lights, they're so bright, you might find that to be excessive. So 12-inch spacing is standard, and every single light gets a clip, no matter what, every single light. We also cut to measure your lights. We actually put on our own plugs. So I put black plugs on a green wire just so there was a good contrast, but we actually put these on. Now your light, if you have green wire, you're usually going to have green plugs. White wire, you're going to have white plugs, and black wire, you would have black plugs. Those are the three different wire colors that we have, is black, green, and white. Most commonly is going to be the green and the white for the traditional colors, but you can get black for some of the newer homes as well that have that black wire, those black gutters and black soffit, black fascia. This is considered your C9 wire. Now, when we plug this in, we cut this and measure to your exact size of your house. But the other thing you need is a timer, because if you have this plugged in outside, well now, when this is hooked on, when this is hooked on, you're going to have a situation where you're going to have, now you can't use this plug-in anymore. So what we do is we provide you with a timer with multiple outlets. That's what allows you to still plug in your block heater, anything else, maybe another set of lights that we've hooked up. This is the exact kind of timer we provide. It's going to have multiple plugs on it. You're going to have a timer, so you can have from dusk till dawn. That's usually the typical setting that we put you on, is the dusk till dawn setting. However, you can also set it up so that when it goes dark, right, using this sensor, which senses the dark, you can have it set to go on to a certain, to only go on for 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, 2 hours, etc. The dusk till dawn setting is the default that we usually like to do. Excuse me, it's dusty down here. So now it's set to on. So there we go. So we'll set this on. Now here's the other thing. Our lights aren't the follower type. Watch out, that's gonna fall. Our lights aren't the followers, right? Our lights are leaders, which means that if one light burns out like this, right, the other lights don't go out. We actually test every single light and we install every single light on site. So we run the wire out onto your home and we install every single light individually, so you can have any pattern you like. You want to go red, white, and blue, you want to go blue, blue, white, white, red, whatever it is that you want to do, we can do a custom light setup for whatever you like. And when it comes to our lights, at the end of the year, when we take your lights down for you, we take the bulbs out and store them separately. The best part about that is that you can change your color every year. You get a complimentary color change every year. Now you might be asking me, well, why is there automatically an assumption that you would change your colors? Well, with us, we believe that you don't want to necessarily see your lights all year round. These are UV stabilized, which means the casing here is going to get foggy. So it is UV stabilized. But what will happen is eventually the sun will cause it to get cracked or dry, but it's going to take a long time. This is why you don't want to leave it outdoors, right? You also don't want to let humidity build up inside those connections, because even though they drain, if you sit them up there, rain is your number one enemy when it comes to Christmas lights or holiday lights. It's not actually the snow. So we're going to actually take your lights down and store them for you every year as part of our program. So we provide the design consultation for free. We will provide you with everything you need so that your lights are made to measure, cut to the exact shape of your house. We cover the installation, a warranty, so if any light burns out or if your strands fall off, we're going to actually come within 36 hours, with the exception of like Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and Christmas Eve, and New Year's Eve. With the exception of those days, we'll show up in 36 hours and get your lights sorted out. So that way, you're going to have a guaranteed holiday presence on your street that you really feel good about. Now, another challenge that comes along with the lighting is when you install it, when you go buy the lights that you're going to get, what's going to happen is that when you go to install your lights, you're going to come to the end of your roof somewhere, right? Let's say this here is the end of your roof. Now you've got this extra piece hanging down. What does everybody do? They just fold it back over into the gutter or something like that, and they just have it laying in the gutter, right? When you're trying to get from one part of your house, so let's say on the picture here, if you're trying to get from here and then you want to come to here, but you want to have lights on these parts going up and down, but you don't want to necessarily have lights going across, well, what you're going to actually have happen is you're going to be trying to hide your lights in your eaves troughs and stuff like that, or hide extension cords that are too long, and then when your eaves troughs get plugged up, then they get ice in them, then that freezes around it, gets in the connections. You don't want any of that. So with us, we actually have something called X wire, which is the exact same thing as this wire without these clamped onto it. And that's going to save you a whole lot of extra headache, and it's going to make your lights look a lot more professional. I'm trying to think of what else here. They got so much to talk about on here. Oh yes, as far as other holiday decor. So we do provide full packages. We're going to be showing you guys a bunch of pictures of them. We have everything from like the Prairie Pride package, the Grinch package, the Frozen package, really cool design packages, as well as we can do some things that might be a little bit custom, right? So we offer wreaths, garland, we have accents, we have 3D signs, we'll do trees, and we have some pretty cool swag to give some special customers this year. Now,
Swags go on the garage. It's like a little wreath.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought she was talking about we're going to be giving away some sweaters.
We probably should now.
Now we definitely have to. We have to give someone away something. Now, flocked, what is that? I didn't know what that was until we started doing the design consultations. But flocked is where it looks like it has snow on it. So when you look at
Flocked is Christmas, is white girl for expensive.
Yeah, white girl for expensive. So flocked wreaths, pre-lit wreaths. So pre-lit wreaths come with lights either like this, right? So the mini lights. As well as this, I call it fairy lights, you call it string lights, right? But it'll come with something like this. This way you can actually have a really, really, really cool Christmas light package. Furthermore, if you have any issues or any problems, you're going to give us a call at our 1-800 number. We're going to get you addressed right away. Keep in mind, if you have a warranty and you got the lights installed in October, but then come wintertime, you try and enact your warranty and the guys are going to say, well, we cannot get up there because there's snow. That's another reason why you're going to be really happy having hired a roofing company who has experience working around all this stuff. If you want to know where all of this came from as far as a business goes, we have a repair department. In fact, that's the door to the repair department right there. The repair department used to get so many phone calls about leaks in fascia, and water coming in the gutters, and water going behind the gutters, and water coming down the walls behind their siding. all kinds of issues around their shingles, having premature wear. And it all came about that when we were coming out to do these repair calls, there were light installers that were putting staples in people's roofs, that were putting screws in people's roofs. These guys just don't care. They're pissed off. They don't even like the fact that they're doing it because, you know, they're screen door guys and lawn care guys and window washing guys. They're not people who maybe take on the challenge of roofing all year. Can you imagine how much easier it is to carry a string of Christmas lights than one of those big 80-pound bundles of shingles? For our guys, Christmas light, holiday light season is time off. For these other folks, this is just the worst job they do all year. So for us, this is easy. It's easy for us to take the extra steps and not to cut the corners. It's easy for us to know how to not damage your shingles and damage your roof because we don't like going back to fix stuff. If we wreck your roof, we're the ones who have to fix it because we're the ones who get hired to fix all the other holiday light installers' mistakes when they start damaging people's roofs and fascias and gutters. That's why we invest in all the right stuff. We even use these little garden stakes for when we're running your wire around on your ground. This goes in the ground, holds your wire off the ground. That way, when we come back to take your lights off, and where did you write that down?
Down. Right here.
Oh yeah, right here, yeah. So from October 15th to December 20th is when we're installing, and then from January 15th to about March 1st-ish, that's when we're getting all the lights taken down. So we don't want to have to be trying to pry up your wire stuck in the snow, so we have it like this, so that way you can get that out. So we're not waiting until April to get the wire out of the ground because this holds it off the ground. There's a lot of these little things that are going to make for a lot more pleasurable experience. So you want to get us to kind of highlight some of the differences. We talked about the difference between C9s and the regular lights you're going to see at the store. We talked about the canopy versus structure wraps on trees. We talked about the difference in professional lights like what we install versus the big box store lights. Making sure that you have the right liability and everything for whoever's installing your lights. We do. We're a roofing company. We have all the insurance, WCB coverage, everything we need to work on roofs. We talked about the difference between the normal wires and the other kind of wires you can get. We talked about the timer. We talked about how we take them down, put them up, we store them for you, provide the warranty, 36-hour no dangling coverages. That's about just scratching the surface, but at the end of the day, if you want to come check us out, go to sargentsroofing.com. In the menu, you can see the Christmas lights. There'll be a pop-up. You can save big money right now because there's no snow on the roof, so it makes it we can do a lot faster, and we pass on those savings to you. Thank you so much for watching this very long-winded video.